Yeah. Got us, Tony? All right, guys, got Jeff here. We're going to be looking at the matrix, and we're looking at 4 different options, especially that Pato runs up against. So the first option, you might see more from an overhook, like say I'm going for Kyotera. Bring this leg up, Jeff. Sit, come up. Yeah. Say I'm going for Kyotera. So once I get in here, one defense that Jeff can try, before I can lock this down, he can try to put his knee down on the mat going away from me. Exactly, yeah. All right. From here, I can't really hold his leg anymore, but notice my shin is still in place. I had like De La Riva, but as he comes over, yes, yeah. So it was here. I can just drop it straight to the floor. I don't know, for some reason my leg went this way, but usually I just drop it over. And, I really want to get my shin pressing into Jeff's leg, and I don't want to start extending. Whenever you start extending, bad things tend to happen, okay? So I had this shin pressure. Now I'm just going to relieve my shin and place my hook over and, try to keep some control of that ankle, all right? So now, Jeff tries to go away. I start putting pressure on his knee, okay? And I have 2 options. Usually, because he's far away, I'm just gonna follow. All right, from here, we're gonna look to take the back, seatbelt grip, et cetera, et cetera. This can also happen from a over or underhook grip. Sometimes we'll get here. And so to relieve that pressure, he'll turn his knee down, okay? And usually all of this stuff, you see more from newer guys that aren't used to the matrix. More experienced guys really don't do this kind of move where they put their knee down, but pretty much the same concept. I'm using that shin against his hamstring. And here I can even try to pull his leg towards me. So if he tries to move at all, it's really hard, okay? From here, I'm gonna replace my shin with my foot, let go of the leg, little sit up. Okay, and again, because he's kind of going away from me, I'm probably gonna have to follow him. I won't be able to pull him back. All right, now I can start to thread my hook, cradle. A lot of different options, right? Okay. The next option, turn this way, Jeff. Yeah. You see more often when I go for the matrix, and we'll talk about hand placement later, but once I start going for the matrix, sometimes he'll start to turn his back. So this time he's not putting his knee on the floor, but he just turns his back, and just have you rewind. I always want that near side leg having some type of contact, okay? I don't want to let that leg, lose that connection. It's gonna be hard to get my legs back in. So, say I had De La Riva, underhook De La Riva or something, I move that leg up into the hip, and I need to get my knee inside of his knee. And that kind of, I'm popping, but that helps me control Jeff's leg, okay? Control his leg. From here, I'm gonna throw my leg over, but let's talk a little bit about this because people get injured all the time going for matrix. When I place my leg in, I don't want my shin pointing towards me or at the ceiling, because now if you were to fall back by accident, I'm putting a lot of pressure, a lot of strain on my ligaments, okay? So that happened to Ronaldo Jr. back in the day, or a few years ago, and that's how he got injured. So when I place that leg, usually I'll pivot off his hip, okay? And that'll help me bring my leg over, and I'd like to do a chop, okay? And notice my shin is driving into Jeff's hamstring. I'm not pointing up, not pointing towards me, going forward, okay? That's even more important. Come back a little bit, Jeff. Say like I had to use that to force Jeff over. Very strong positioning, kind of similar to what we did before. I put a little bit of pressure, internal rotation pressure on his leg. Start to come up. And from here, sometimes I'll start to see, maybe the guy would try to roll away. So you see like more of the crab X kind of stuff, crab ride. All right. So 2 options so far, knee down, you did earlier. Second option, he just turns his back turn. The next one, we see a lot from guys in like Jeff's weight class or maybe featherweight and light feather, when you go for the matrix, you know, instead of letting me get this, he's gonna post his hands on the floor. Go that way, Jeff. And now he's gonna spin like a almost heel kick spin out. This way, other way? Yeah, other way. Yeah, keep going. There we go. Okay, so I call that a spin out. You're gonna see with like the smaller people, the lighter weight guys. Okay, in that case, I'm not gonna be able to get the matrix anymore, but this also opens up a lot of attacks, okay? You have your inside heel hook. Just be mindful. I can't do this from 50-50. You know, it's really hard to finish the inside heel hook from 50-50, but I can use my leg positioning to help me get in position, okay? So you'll see Pato go for that a lot. He'll also go for this lateral knee bar, controlling the toes. And when he does that, he's trying to avoid that running man. So if I don't do anything, Jeff can turn his leg. He's gonna try to escape. So before that can happen, controlling his foot towards me, lateral knee bar pressure. For some reason, people just can't do this. I know when Tony teaches it, the white belts be struggling, but I'm doing like a hip into his knee, pulling the toes, okay? And even if I can't finish him here, it just keeps him from turning. And then I can also look to come up, look for that inside heel hook, okay? We can also, you know, say you're not really good at this, we can also push this leg back over into our armpit, okay? From here, just be careful. If you have your leg extended, yeah. It's almost like the omoplata armbar, where if they keep their arm straight, you know, they're gonna get armbarred, but usually they bend it and get caught in omoplata. Kind of similar situation, but just realize he can't do that running man anymore. Can you running man, Jeff? It's kind of tough.
Hell no.
Okay. From here, I can try to use my legs to pull his far leg in, and I'm trying to get a ankle lock grip. Okay. From here, I have a double attack. I can look for the ankle lock, and you know my elbow's a little jacked up, but this actually is a good angle for the ankle lock too. You see how like my bottom leg's under? That lifts his leg up. So it's basically like, it's not exactly a Aoki lock, but it's kind of in the same family, okay? So I had this attack. If I can't finish there, I can always come back with the Z lock. So you see Pato did this against Kennedy in ADCC 2022. Very strong position, you know? We were kind of talking about this a little bit earlier, but yeah, you just keep pushing. It's like a caveman submission, all right? And worse, if he tries to straighten out his leg, the lateral knee bar, right? So pretty rough, okay? We'll also see Pato go for the outside heel hook, very strong. We'll talk a little bit about that later, but just realize it's all there. Outside heel hook, Z-lock, and inside heel hook. Those are all moves that Pato does, okay? The last option we're gonna look at, you're gonna see more so the big guys that Pato fights do this. Come in close, yeah. So we're here. Sometimes they're gonna bring this down, this knee down, and they'll turn in and fight this far leg, okay? And so in that case, it's really hard to, yeah, keep it away, yeah. I can't do the matrix anymore, right? So instead of just giving up my attack, I'm gonna bring this foot off the hip and I'm gonna thread it underneath. Okay, from here, you get into Ashi or almost 50-50 position. You know, again, we have the outside heel hook. This is a very strong position, and you know, Pato had a really good outside heel hook versus Dante, and I don't know if it was a mistake, but like if Dante had kept his leg on the floor, he would have been okay. But because Pato was so strong, he went to pull his leg out. Like, no. Just pull your leg up. No.
Pull my leg out? Up.
Just pull, yeah.
Oh.
Yeah, so he tried to pull his leg out, but Pato had such a good grip. Okay. So just realize that, you know, I think it was just a mistake, but because he tried to just pull like his leg out, it actually made it worse, okay? Usually, you know, you get this, the guy's gonna try to roll properly, yeah. We're just gonna do one rotation, And then I'm trying to maintain his leg bent. I can go heel hook grip or, because Tony likes the reverse grip. Very powerful, okay? If I can't finish this, we can also go to 50-50, like the traditional. Just remember, it's kind of hard to finish, but we can go back to that lateral knee bar pressure, okay? I will say don't underestimate the 50-50, especially gi guys going into no gi, because it's very powerful. And I had a seminar and I was saying that 50-50 is like one of the more powerful sweep positions. Like if you only have a couple seconds on the clock, like you can probably hit a 50-50 sweep over just about anything. Like wrestle up kind of opens you up to like leg, upper body submissions, like guillotines and kimuras. Everything else is kind of rough, but if you can get the 50-50, you can really sweep, okay? And just like in the gi, we're looking to turn our hip over. And even if Jeff were to come up, yeah, I can look to thread this hook in. I'm gonna be careful, but sometimes you can slip out the back, but we'll talk a little bit about this later. But from here, I can just come behind me, Tony. Yeah. So I'm trying to get to like back exposure, look towards his back. My outside leg, my back leg's gonna come for his leg, for his knee. And I'm just gonna push and turn, all right? So we saw this versus Pato versus Ethan Krinelstein, ADCC 2024. Pato was able to sweep right at the end. Like it was a pretty good match, but he was able to sweep towards the end of the match. And he was gonna hold. That's something Pato's really good at. He can sweep you from 50-50 and he's gonna be able to hold. But because Ethan was trying to sweep back, he started to extend this leg, okay? And guys, whenever you extend that leg out, usually not a good sign. So from here, because Ethan was trying to rock back up, yeah, Pato was able to go across body right into his heel hook or his knee bar. Yeah. And that's one of his strengths. He'll keep attacking, but when he feels like something's kind of getting close, he'll take a risk and go for it. I mean, looking back, like say you had 30 seconds, okay, 50-50 sweep, okay, that seems doable. But do you think you would go for a knee bar with like a few seconds left, Jeff?
I'll try to win the
match. In ADCC, yeah. Most guys would, all right, I'll just win the match or try to take it overtime or something, but Pato was like, no, I'm gonna try to finish, okay? As far as setting up this stuff, usually Pato will go off like a 2-on-1. So in the gi, he plays cross sleeve, no gi, 2-on-1. He can even come and control this elbow. From here, just don't put this in his armpit to get attacked. You can post on the shoulder or just keep it up in the air. But now I'm gonna look to underhook, okay, and pull into this position, okay? As far as controlling this leg, I can consider this like a knee trap. This is more traditional matrix control. But one thing Pato does really good, usually, if he can get this, he'll use it. But usually he does like almost like a Mikey grip on the heel, on the leg, okay? So from here, I can do my matrix. I can come underneath. And that's why the guy feels like they can try to pull your leg out. Okay. So that's something he does really well. Also unique to Pato. Maybe some other people do it, but I saw Pato do a lot. Like say you're standing. We get so caught up in doing the matrix like this. One thing I saw Pato doing, he can use that foot control or maybe a little bit looser. He'll kind of preemptively like invert and get like an X on the leg, okay? Even here. And that makes it easier to kind of thread over. There's no lag and there's no space, okay? And sometimes, maybe against a taller guy, you see how Jeff's kind of far away. I can get my back leg in the far hip, and I'm gonna lock my triangle, Okay. And here, I can maybe threaten like a calf slicer. I can also go backside. He doesn't really do backside so much, but he might go either for the calf slicer or let's try to pull your knee out. Calf slicer here, he doesn't really go for it too much. Usually he's gonna go for the crab ride. Okay, you stay there. Maybe look for this. Okay. The only other attack we gotta talk about is the false reap. That's Pato's bread and butter. So we used to show it just off a single leg grip and then bring your leg over. But I think it's a little bit smarter to do it from a Keymaster. So you have a reverse De La Riva grip. I'm gonna get a Keymaster, and then from here I can switch to a single leg grip. And that just helps me maintain the distance, because if I go just a single leg, you know, against a good passer, it's kind of rough. But when I have that Keymaster, a lot easier. From here, I'm gonna thread my leg over, and just be careful of the bolt cutter or any of those weird submissions. Yeah, I can even just fight him with the other leg too. So if he tries the bolt cutter, kind of hard, right? From here, a lot of people just want to thread their leg over, but my legs aren't long, so I gotta bring my hips up by rocking onto my shoulder. Okay, my Keymaster foot's gonna come out, and I'm gonna start to hook that top leg in. Okay. And one thing Pato does, we used to show just rolling, like kind of rolling like this and trying to clear. That's kind of how most people learned the false reap. But one thing Pato does really well, come back, square it. This way, Cousin Tony. Here, come up. So one thing he does really well, instead of doing that roll, instead he's gonna try to clear his foot out. So almost like when we do the butterfly sweep, when you hop on your foot, I'm gonna let go of the ankle, hop out, and come back in. So very tight. From here, I can get an ankle lock grip, or I can start controlling his foot using a face bolo. And look, we're in that lateral knee bar again. I can bring it across. Z-lock, boom. Outside heel hook, boom, okay. Let me do that one more time. So that one, I think I like a little bit more because, you know, if I try to false reap on someone like Jeff, let me bring your leg up. Sometimes if I try to do that roll, you know, he can almost bolo on me. So I can switch your legs, yeah. There you go, roll, there you go. You know, sometimes that's like an option Jeff can do. But when I do the variation that Pato does, there's really no space. Keep your leg down. Let that leg down. Yeah, so, you know, say I'm here. Even if Jeff's kind of heavy, I can come across. You know, I was doing like a single leg grip, but sometimes he'll keep his arms locked too. Let me do that too. So I usually do this, but I think that's more common for most people. Get your hands locked together. Oops, sorry. That's kind of rough. I probably do single leg grip, guys. That's easier for me. But now I can lock my hands up on my head. If you got any neck problems, don't do this move. And again, I'm walking my foot. And I come back in. All right. Not much you can do. You know, he can try to stay here. That's when I start working on this leg. Face bolo. So I go on my face and I turn with them. Okay. So yeah, that's most of Pato's game. No-gi. Again, 4 different situations: knee down, back turn, spin out, and then turn in. Okay. He might do some, you know, some stuff like, you know, Cousin Tony might do some stuff like trying to hook me and stuff. I'm gonna bring this leg up. Yeah. They might try like hook and stuff.
That type of stuff.
Yeah. But just realize, there's always a move for his move, okay? And, always look for your attacks. If you can get yourself in positions. So, like, we focus more on the reactions, the 4 different reactions. If you can map out those reactions, that means your attacks are going to be waiting for you. So here, I already know I have an outside heel hook. Okay, if he starts to roll, I already know I need to follow him. Look for this. If I can't finish with this, I can always go back to 50-50, look for a sweep. He starts extending. Knee bar. He doesn't do anything. I get my sweep points, right? Hold out. Okay. So again, that's...
He doesn't hold out, though. He's going to try to submit you.
He'll try to submit you, but he'll try to win. Win however you can. And, I think he is very talented. One thing I saw that's kind of becoming popular too is like he's really good at top side attacks. So especially like if he starts to pass, I can tell Tony's getting tired. We're almost done, Tony. Maddox misses him. He's got
Sigma.
Sometimes Pato starts to pass, and he's been working it more. So now he'll just let the guy start to turn. Let me get my leg out. Yeah. And get into this weird positions. I just call it top side leg entanglements. You'll see guys like William Tackett. They'll get in these positions. Tariq has been working this stuff. So Pato will start looking for the legs, but there's guys that are working these kind of attacks where they get on the hip and stuff. Yeah, so they're working some funky stuff. So that's kind of the hard thing. Like they might throw something that you're like, oh shit, what is this? So you guys got to stay active, stay like learning. That's what me and Jeff do. Try to stay up on what the new kids are doing, what they're saying. I mean, I don't know what Sigma and Riz mean, but you know what that shit means, Jeff? But we got to try to learn a little bit. So if they're calling us out or something, we'll be ready. All right, guys, hopefully this helps you. Thank you, Jeff, bro. Thank you, Tony. All right. Yeah. Dude, cut the camera.
All right, I'll cut it.